Here he is, Carter, DOD King, one of my top 10 most likable players from the Internet Invitational.
Yeah, that's a hot take, Mr. Fisher. That is a hot take. Somebody had sent me that, and I was like, I love Matt to death. That is awesome, but he's gonna get some flack for that.
We
But
got
I
a little bit.
appreciate it.
Hey, I look, I mean, I know you, so you're fun to watch and you're fun to hang out with. So maybe I'm a little biased, but I'll tell you, regardless, you're fun. You were fun to watch the whole time.
Well, man, I loved it out there. It was a fun experience. I felt like it was the environment that I like to be in. Competition, intensity, energy. I thrive on all of it, and I really do love it. So it felt like home for me.
Take us through the beginning. Like you got booted in the semifinals,
Yep.
unfortunately.
Final 12. Yep.
I was pulling for you. But
I
let's
appreciate it.
like starting out, like what was it like when you got there, when you got on site at Big Cedar Lodge from the time you teed off? What was that like? Walk us through
It
that.
was, yeah, man. I mean, first off, Big Cedar Lodge, it's in the middle of like nowhere, Missouri, right? Like nothing against the state of Missouri. Very beautiful. But you fly into Springfield and you drive down there, the Ozarks, and it is just a special place in this country. Like as soon as you're driving up this little hill, you just look to the right and it's Paynes Valley. And it's stunning. It really is stunning. It's something I've never seen before. And once you get on site, like you see all these creators. I knew probably half the people out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew most of the golf guys and girls, and so chopped it up with friends and stuff like that. But it was from the get-go, it was a really special experience that they were able to create for all of us, just to have everybody in the same place for this event, playing for this much money and all these stakes, it was a unique feeling. I can't really put to words. I don't have a really good vocabulary in the first place, but I can't put to words. It was just a very unique feeling from the second you get on property until the first day. But as soon as the draft started, there was a change in the atmosphere. Like everything changed. Everything. Everybody was happy to be there. But as soon as Dave goes, half of y'all are being eliminated tomorrow and you're picking captains and then the draft's going, it's a whole nother ball game. It was intense. It was really cool to be a part of. I knew half the people, I didn't know the other half. I just kind of just, stood to myself in the draft, chopped it up with some friends on the side and just kind of let what happened happen. Wasn't up to me and I just kind of left it up to fate, but um I couldn't I was going into it, nobody knew anything and I didn't
You
really
didn't
know
know the
what to expect.
format or anything?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. So I didn't know what to expect. And so the whole time you're just curious and you're in your own brain with just like, how does this work? Who am I competing against? And they did an unbelievable job, man. Unbelievable job.
I thought, in all honesty, it was kind of be a flop.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
because there's just so much. And I was like,
Yeah.
there's too much. There's too many people. There's too much. It can't be done well with that much. And then from episode one, I was locked in,
Yeah.
and I'm
They
getting that
crushed it,
vibe from
man.
everybody who's seeing it.
Yeah. What was the biggest thing to me is I met a lot of the people on the production staff. Everybody behind the scenes there did an unbelievable job. And people have talked about it, thanking them and explaining how much work it is to do that. But to see in person the amount of work that happened, like behind the scenes, just with the organization, with 48 different mics, with different cameras, SD cards, memory, like dropping footage, all of that in a day. Like I know how stressful that is for one camera, for one YouTube video. I could only imagine what it was like for all that. So shout out to all of them. But like it was such a cool thing to just see all of it come about, and the fact that they crushed it this well on their first go is mad respect, mad respect.
Insane. What are some of the things from the get-go that went down that like were totally unexpected?
We're totally unexpected. To be honest with you, everything that happened, it's not like I saw it happening, but it felt right. Like all of the drama that ensued, all the people's reactions to it, everything felt very, in place for a creator golf tournament, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, I would
How
say the
about
first thing that's
the
shocking, or sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you like I mean episode one, you and Sarah are in the cart together.
Hmm.
And you like, hey, let's get him, sweetheart. I think you said, or she's right out the gate. She's like, don't call me
Yeah.
sweetheart. And I was like, oh no, this could get uncomfortable.
Dude,
What kind of
yeah.
feedback did you get on that one?
You've known me. We've done some videos together. I love hate comments. I love all of it. I
Yeah.
use it. I built a brand off of it. It's my thing. But that was the first time where comments actually got to me because people
Oh,
were calling me like a creep and like all this stuff. And I'm like, that's my friend. Like Sarah and I've known each other for a long time. We've done videos together. And like sweetheart, where I'm from, like you call everybody a sweetheart. Like, it's just a term of endearment without any meaning or affection behind it. It's just like a common thing that's used in Virginia. And so I didn't think anything of it. But then she said, "Don't call me sweet." She was like, "Oh, what, like are you drinking the double tequila?" I was like, "Yeah, come on, sweetheart." And she's like, "Don't call me sweetheart." I was like, "Oh my god!" And they cut out the rest of the cart can, which is like, I
of course
understand
they
all
did.
the
Of
editing and
course.
stuff, but the whole time, yeah. But she's a good friend of mine. We laugh about it. We collabed a reel of kind of laughing at it together. But she's a great person. We were a good team, man. She kept me dialed because like I'll be honest, like I started out really well, and as I went through the series, my performance just kind of slowly just got worse and worse each episode. But she was a really good teammate because she kept me very steady. They showed all the moments of me being intense and cussing and stuff like that, which is totally fair, and I completely understand everybody's perception of me. I don't argue with them at all. I was watching it and I was like, who is this guy, cussing all this time? And then I realized it was me. I was like, dude, shut up. But she kept me very calm throughout the entire video and throughout the entire series of that first day. So she was a great teammate because I let my emotions go. I play with my emotions. If I'm feeling something, I let it be known, and I think that's just the way I play. And she was a great teammate to kind of keep me calm with all of that. But yeah, the "don't call me sweetheart" thing is, I told her I was like, you need to go make a hat or something like and go get
Oh
that
yeah.
going because that's a whole business right there. I'm sure there's a lot of women on golf ranges that get unsolicited golf advice that would love to buy that hat.
Oh my gosh. That'd be huge.
Yeah. Oh
I love
yeah.
it. What what was there what kind of strategy was going on? I know like at the beginning it's just a draft, you're picking teams, people just don't know
Mhm.
what's up, but was there some gamesmanship going on early when it came time to picking teams and um, pairing people with people?
I'll be honest with you. For most of the captain votes and the drafts and the player matchups, I kind of left it up to the people who kind of took that role. And everybody who hopped in, I think watching back on both sides, did an excellent job at drafting not only for skill, which is obviously insanely important because it's a non-handicapped event, but also team chemistry. Like right out of the gates, it was Bob and Riggs that were captains. I
Yeah,
think both of them drafted exactly how they should have. I think they put the matchups out there exactly how they should have. And after we continued to move on, um, I think they absolutely just crushed it with the people who were supposed to be the captains were the captains and they
yeah.
knew the players and the dynamics. So I can't really speak on the strategy too much just because I don't really know, but I knew at the end of the day it was win your match for your team and continue forward and hope that everybody else in your team does the same because you can't really do much else besides that. I don't have enough IQ to explain the draft strategy or anything like that. I just kind of sat on the side and knew my place. I was like, you guys know more than me. I'm going to sit right here and you guys tell me where to go and who to beat.
I love it. All right, let's move fast forward to episode or the semifinals. What is it, episode five?
Mhm.
Walk me through. Well, one, the picking teams. I was fascinated. My hands were sweating when you guys were drafting the teams.
Yeah.
I thought they, for the most part, I felt like they were fairly even, but I felt like one team was w well stacked.
That's what team did you think was well stacked
Well, I
out
want
of
you to tell
curiosity?
me what your thoughts were, and then I'll give you
So,
mine. Because I
yeah, it was
ranked it in a different way.
right. Okay. I'm intrigued to hear that because I
Okay.
it was tough, man, because this happened in August, right? We had to sign
Yeah.
NDAs, so I haven't been able to talk to anybody about it. I didn't tell any of my closest friends. I was like, I'm not breaking this. I've broken many NDAs in my life, but I'm not breaking this one.
Well, I'll tell you
And
this. like I wasn't fishing for info from anybody, but I was just like, when's it? Like I was asking people when's it going to air, and nobody. But I was shocked. No one leaked anything.
Anything.
Normally there's some leaks in the ship, but no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Props to all you
They did.
guys.
Yeah, they did a good job. Those NDAs, man, they're scary. But I'm in so but yeah, anyway, getting back to your point, I'm definitely intrigued to hear what you have to say. My opinion on the draft is everything happens for a reason. The teams ended up how they were for a reason, and I don't think there was anything wrong with it. I think they were fair. I think everybody agreed upon it. And so there's no looking back and saying, "Oh, this one team was better than the other." I think everybody agreed on what it was. So anybody who's trying to start drama behind all of that, I think, it is what
Yeah.
it is. That's all fair. All is fair in love and war.
I mean, yeah, for the most part, I think they were pretty fair. I thought one probably had an advantage. I thought Paige's team probably had an advantage because
I've
I
heard that.
I just ranked both you and Melosi higher than Micah in terms of like, playing abilities. Nothing
Hmm.
against Micah. I was just
No,
like,
no, no. Yeah.
um, based on, what I saw, and this what from what I saw for the first like few episodes.
Hmm.
But it was close. I would put you two. I thought you three were pretty interchangeable. At one point, you were on Paige's team, and I was like,
Correct.
"Oh, that's a lock." And
Yeah.
then she switched for
Yeah.
Melosi, and I'm like, "It's probably still a lock."
Yeah, yeah. It's man, at the end of the day, I think anybody could have gotten through that par three. I think any of those teams could have played well to get through that par three. I'll tell you, just like man to man, it was the hardest thing in the world losing that because when I've gone through everybody's gone through failures in their life. I've gone through many tournament losses. In golf, you lose more than you win. That's just a fact.
Yeah,
And I'm okay. I can stomach losing an event for myself. I have a rule. I have 1 hour to really embrace the emotions, feel the anger, feel the disappointment, feel the sadness. I think it's important to do that. But after that hour's over, it's done. It's on to the next one. Let's get some
yeah,
sleep. Let's wake up the next day. Let's get back to work. But this one, it hurt way more and it affected me for way longer. Not necessarily because of the money or because of the stakes or because this is the biggest stage that I've been on. But more so is like I cost my teammates the entire event. Both of my teams, I had Peter Finch and Josh Richards on my
yeah.
team for that round. And so Josh is like our third guy, right, in the tiering system, whatever. Josh played unbelievable. He made every single putt. He had to go after me, so I left him some 3 footers and some four
You you
footers.
guys were
He
running the
made every
ball
single
by.
one
I mean,
touch
people are
gloves.
just crushing their putts. I guess the greens must have been
Yeah,
slick.
man, it was. They were slick, but like, man, I could come on here like a year ago. I would come on here and just say the greens were slick. Everybody was missing putts. It wasn't my fault, but like everybody played on the same greens. Everybody played on the same conditions. I'll be straight up. Like I folded. It was completely on me. And it took a while, dude. It took a while because Peter, in my opinion, like, in fairness with Brad Dahlke, who played unbelievable. I'm taking nothing away from Brad. I think he's probably the best player in that field. Peter played number two
Yeah,
easily. He had
yeah.
the second best performance, if not the best performance in that entire Internet Invitational, and continued that into the par three. And I feel sorry because he got stuck with with me. And I'll be honest with you, like in my head, I'm very good with thought patterns and understanding my thought patterns and always maintaining positive influence in my own brain. I don't let external things infiltrate internal dialogue. And I'm always good at building on momentum. And in that moment, as soon as I missed that first short putt, it was the first time in 3 or 4 years that I allowed negativity
Mm.
into my brain that compounded for terrible vocabulary, but that compounded, and it was honestly like I right after the event, right after we lost, I had to go to Vegas in a couple of days, and so I had to stay in Arkansas in the middle of nowhere, Arkansas, like an hour from Little Rock while I was like waiting for my flight. Flight got canceled for a day. So I'm staying in this really just gross hotel, just trying to get out of the Arkansas, just like to Vegas. I signed an NDA. I can't call any of my friends. and I'm just suffering in my head because I'm like, Josh played out of his mind, Peter played out of his mind, and I cost our team because I folded under pressure.
Mm,
And I can live with myself folding under pressure and it costing me. But when I cost my teammates the opportunity, and both of them deserved it so much for their effort, for their results, for their performance. And dude, that stung to me like worse than I've ever felt. And it lasted for days. Like just stuck in
wow.
Arkansas in a hotel. Can't go on my I just threw away my phone. Like I can't tell anybody. It's not gonna be aired for months. So I know I'm gonna have
Months.
to relive it. Can't call my parents about it. I just sat there and I was like, I really let myself feel those emotions because I was like, look, everybody has to go through growth in their life. And, this, for whatever reason, you weren't meant to make this happen. And you have to learn from this and grow from it. Because if you don't, and you don't embrace these emotions, then you just won't grow as a person and as a competitor. So it sucked, dude. And fair be it to Peter and Josh. I've texted them probably like 7 times since the event, just like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what else to say. It's the worst feeling in the world, dude. It really is like costing your
Yeah.
teammates something. And both of them are just the greatest guys ever. Josh is like, hey, sink or swim with the team. Peter's like, look, mate, if it didn't happen like that, we wouldn't all love this game if every time you're on and all this. I'm like, man, I wish y'all would have just rocked me in my head or something or kicked me in the shin. Like I'd feel a lot better. I'll tell you, Matt, it was brutal, man. I'm the ultimate competitor. I love pressure
Yeah.
situations, but I folded, dude, and it was hard to live with that.
It's funny, like sitting at home, and we're all the king of the armchair quarterback, right? Of
Of
just
course.
sitting there looking, oh, this is a 72-yard hole. This is nothing.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm sitting there going, dude, this is, but I've been in those situations, and especially on short courses, if you're off, you don't ever get a driver swing in your hand to kind of shake off the cobwebs. You're
Right.
stuck with the next 62 yarder or a weird chip or a short putt. Like
Yeah.
you live in that nightmare the whole 18 holes when you're playing a
Yeah.
short course.
Oh, I did, man. I did. It was rough, man. And it was like I had to overcome a lot of just like I think what helped me with that is that um I matured a lot through that loss of like just understanding ego and kind of removing that because I've never dealt with self-doubt. People view me how they view me, especially with these new viewers, they see me how it is, and I completely understand it. Like I get it. If I was watching me and I didn't know me, I'd understand. But I've always had belief in myself, and I show that in unique way, I guess, to some people. But that was the first time where I dealt with self-doubt, and it was a tough stage to do it on, dude. Like
Oh,
with everything on the line and millions of people are going to be watching this and millions of dollars on the line, just like life-changing money, really. It was tough. Like I'm looking back, I'm watching this video, I'm like, aim a little more left, Carter. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like your jerky stroke, you have hands of a Neanderthal. But
yeah. How
there's
tough is it having to relive it, 3 months later?
brutal, man, because it took about a week to get over it. And then I was like, okay, we move forward, we move on. You either accept this and it becomes a part of who you are, or you learn from it. You try to grow as a person, try to grow as a competitor, accept that, you know what, it's on you. Sometimes, like, you can take positives away from everything, but sometimes you got to look in the mirror and be like, hey, this is on you. You missed those putts. You allowed yourself to have those thought patterns, and you cost your team the victory. Like, you have to sometimes just be real with yourself, I think. Um, and then having to relive it over the last few days, it's been something for sure. I never let the negative comments and DMs get to me, but once again, like I'm in a new realm here where I cost other people it, and I've
Yeah.
never had so much traction of DMs and comments, and it's all been just negative, and it doesn't really get to me. If anything, I'm going to use it for my war against Weasels and hopefully have some new haters here and respark the series, but it's a weird concept, like having lived it 3 months ago
Mhm.
and then reliving it now that the world's reliving it. It's unique.
Other than, let's say, playing different on that last, semifinal match, like what would you do different if you did it again? If you did this whole thing again,
I don't know if I would
or would you
I don't
do
know
it
if I'd do
again?
anything different. I would 100% do it again, man. I can't wait. I hopefully I come back. Like I feel like I have a redemption arc coming, and I feel like this is an opportunity for me to really work on myself, work on my game as a competitor. I could go hit a 2 million 2 foot putts, but that's not going to change if I go back out there. It's all right up here. And um, I'm excited. Hopefully I get that invite back. You know, this is their first year doing it. I had a great time. People see what they see, but I was very grateful to be out there and enjoy the time with all those people and just experience it all. It was a very unique experience. And I was thinking to myself when I was in a hotel in Arkansas, I was like, man, how cool is it that you got to experience that much emotion of a loss in
Mm,
this life? Because not many people, people comment all the time, but they're too scared to get in the arena and really have that failure themselves. And I was just very grateful. I learned to be grateful for that failure.
wow.
And now I have to relive it, but I learned to really, it's like, how cool is it that I got that experience to have this failure in front of this many people? And how are you going to use this? How are you going to grow? Because you're 26 years of age, Carter. I'm telling myself. And how are you going to grow from this? What are you going to do from the next? So, like, would I do anything different? I don't think so. I don't. There's no opinion that I care of, so I don't care to, try to explain myself to people. But there's two opinions that I care of. It's my mother and my father. And my mother told me watch my language. So I think next time I would probably not cuss as much, maybe. But it's like it was intense, dude. There's $1 million on the line. That's
Oh,
life-changing money. I didn't think about content. I wasn't thinking about viewers or gaining subscribers. I was there to get paid and bounce. So I got intense and my vocabulary is very immature. But so if there's anything, I'd probably go back and not cuss. But it's only because my mother told me not to. So
that's awesome. How much did
yeah.
you walk with in terms of skin money and
Um, I think like 15K or 20K, something like that. I can't quite remember. I think that everything's getting taken care of afterwards, after everything's done airing. I don't know if I'm
okay.
allowed to say that. I don't really know. Yeah, I've already maintained the NDA this far. They can't get mad at me now. But yeah, there's like 15 or 20K in skins, which hey, like that's awesome. That's
I
huge.
love it.
You know?
Now, I got a theory about this. I want to hear your thoughts. And I'm sure you wanted them to, especially at the end, was take Dave's offer. But not one person, at least up to this point, took any of his offers.
Dude, they asked the wrong people, bro. You asked DOD King 250 G's one hole. We're signing the dotted line and rocking and rolling to hole 18, baby. I don't know. I don't know what that was. And like, look, I have nothing but respect because they were my teammates. I guess the first round they offered it to like George and Jet or somebody, the 100K,
Hmm.
or Sarah and Chaz. I forget exactly
Yeah,
how it went down.
I think Sarah and Chaz, they offered Bubby one,
They offered
uh,
they offered Bobby. Here's the thing. They offered Bobby 250
250.
to play the last hole. And I wasn't there for that. Mike and I were finishing our match. I was trying to push as many holes as we could to try to just rack up the dough. Mike was
Yeah.
getting stressed. He was stressed out with me. And I was like, hey, just listen. Like, we're trying to bring some dough home here. And so we were pulling up after everything had occurred. And I respect the hell out of Bubby for saying my team's moving on. As a competitor, I'm thinking, Bubby, first off, maybe talk to the team and be like, I'm gonna keep 50%, then you guys split the money. And I'm saying, hey, go to that next hole, brother. Like, let's go. That's at least what I would have done. I would have been like, hey, let's talk about it as a team. But I do not ever doubt his decision or
Yeah.
regret that he made that decision because he was true to himself and true to his heart. And he said, my team's moving forward. However, we ain't your team tomorrow, brother.
That's
Like,
what Dave was trying to tell him. I would have first went to the team I was going to compete against and say, "Hey, just lay down for us. I'll give you half the money."
straight up,
I'm
bro.
I,
You
I
already, that's how I'm thinking too, bro.
like we could all walk with some of Dave's cash. Now I'm
Yeah.
sure he might have sniffed that out and said no,
Yeah.
no dice, but it was it would have been worth a shot.
100%. Like at the end of the day, like, yes, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to be the first Internet Invitational champion. But we're also here competing for what, 333K? And you're saying 250K for one hole? Carter's going for that every day of the week. I'm talking to my partner. I'm going to slap him in his face and say, lock in. We're going one more. And even if we lose, which would never happen, we're going to an extra or a playoff alternate shot, which is great for content. And let's go to the alternate shot. But like, am I taking a risk? You essentially have double elimination. You have double
Yeah.
chance, and you can have a chance for 250 G's. I like your strat. negotiate with the people. Hey, lay down. I'm going to cut you in 75 grand. That's a lot of money, dude. That's a
right?
salary. But I'm gonna at least talk to my team. But I respect the decision. If they ask the wrong people, they ask the good people. You ask the bad guy, the D bag of YouTube golf cart is taking that every day of the week. We're going to the next hole and we're rocking and rolling. I'm gonna bless my team and then we're moving forward. But yeah.
So how much like have you seen like a positive growth on your social media since the airing
Yeah.
of this and then where mostly?
Instagram mostly. I've probably gotten like 20,000 followers since
Oh
it
wow.
aired, which is nice. I didn't have a Twitter beforehand. I didn't know Twitter was a thing or X. I didn't know that was a thing still. So I downloaded that and just like reposted some. So I got some growth on that. But I was banned from YouTube for the last month. So I haven't uploaded a video on YouTube since September.
You were
So I
banned?
yeah,
For what?
no.
Can you say?
Long story, yeah, I can say it. Long story short, a guy commented some explicit things at me, name calling me, whatever, and I responded to them word for word. You are a spineless, cheese eating weasel. Word for word. That's what I commented back and couldn't upload videos. And I was trying to figure it out why. It was
Oh,
hard to get my like YouTube advisor on the phone. And once I did, they couldn't figure it out. And then eventually they said this comment was flagged. It was on like a 3-month-old video. And I was like, this is what I do. Like I chirp back at people. I can't like he can say explicit, 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 but I can't call him a spineless cheese eating weasel. That's kind of just like it's a funny chirp. Like it's just what I said.
yeah,
But
right.
I but I got it back. I'm actually uploading my first hated video in 8 months today. And so I didn't really see much growth on YouTube, which I would have loved,
Mm.
obviously. Like, you know, better than anybody, you gave me some good mentorship on the whole YouTube analytics side of things. And I appreciate that. But yeah, I didn't really see much growth on YouTube just because I haven't been able to upload but it is what it is, having this exposure, whether people love me or hate me, I definitely think it's more hate than love, but um, it's exposure and it's beautiful and I would go do it again and I'm not gonna ever change who I am. So they can love me or hate me. I'm gonna keep being me
Well, I love it. Well, you were in my opinion, one I mean, you're like you said, love you or hate you, people are going to remember you,
for sure.
right? And so I think that's
100%.
it makes great content, great entertainment. You were a home run for the Internet Invitational.
I appreciate that, brother. It means a lot coming from you. It's definitely been an interesting couple weeks going through DMs and comments. If I felt alive again for a little bit, but then it started to get really ugly, and I was like, man, did I say anything bad? And I was watching through it, I was like, man, that's kind of toned down a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, you were great. Well, congratulations on the success, the show. Bummer you didn't make it to the finals, but whatever, you took it on the chops. It's easy to sit and just go, oh, how could he do that? But no, you're in a different environment. Nerves gonna hit everybody different ways, and uh, you just never know.
You
Weird
never
things
know.
happen in the heat of competition that never happened before.
No doubt about it. And I could sit here and give excuses but it's just not who I am and it's not what it is and it's not the fact. The fact is I've always loved pressure, but for whatever reason the pressure got to me and I allowed it to affect me and the only thing you can do is learn from it and continue forward. So, given that opportunity again, I'm ready.
Love it. Well, congratulations. I appreciate your time, my friend.
Thank you, brother.